Ladies and gentlemen, I see that our governor is in the room this morning. It's really a privilege for me to introduce our governor. I don't think he's missed a Farm Bureau convention since he's been governor. We're privileged to have with us our governor of North Carolina, Governor Roy Cooper. We've worked with him, as we have with all the governors. We've worked with him for many years. Roy Cooper understands and he knows Farm Bureau, he knows agriculture, he knows North Carolina, and he particularly knows rural North Carolina, being a product of Nash County. Roy Cooper is serving, as you know, as our 75th governor of the great state of North Carolina. Prior to serving as our governor, he served as our Attorney General for 16 years. During his political career, Roy Cooper has served with distinction in the North Carolina General Assembly, and we at North Carolina Farm Bureau, myself personally and the organization, is proud of the close working relationship that we have with our governor. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our governor, Governor Roy Cooper. Governor Cooper.
Well, good morning, everybody. So glad to be with you and my friend Larry Wooten and farmers across North Carolina. I'm grateful to be with you, and I'm grateful that you are part of the greatest economic engine that our state has. Thank you for being also part of this Farm Bureau convention and being leaders in your communities and bringing those issues that we know need to be at the forefront. I grew up in eastern North Carolina. I cropped tobacco every summer until I went to college. I cropped it, topped it, suckered it, put it in, took it out, chopped it. Did everything you could do to it except chew it and smoke it, which Mom and Dad would not let me do. But I am grateful for everything I learned and for what our farming economy does for North Carolina. Also had cows and pigs and grew watermelons, and am very grateful for the farm that I still have today, that I go out and walk on in Nash County, and grateful to talk to farmers almost every day regarding issues affecting them. One thing I know right now from talking to farmers is that you are weathering some very tough times. Low commodity prices, the need for reliable workers, livestock losses and crop losses due to devastating hurricanes that continue to hit our state, trade wars that unjustly punish agriculture. The trade resolution cannot come soon enough, and the uncertainty must end. I also know that encouraging young people to go into agriculture is getting to be a frustrating process, and I'm always encouraged when I see family farms and young people who are going to college and wanting to continue that effort. I'm grateful for the fact that they do that. And I believe that the legacy of farming in North Carolina will continue to be strong and will survive this period of time and will continue to grow. And there are things that we can do in North Carolina to support agriculture and make sure that the next generation can carry on with this noble profession. And even as you plan ahead, I hope for a good harvest next year and work to make things better in this time of uncertainty. There's several things that I'm working on closely with many of you out in the community. Number one, we've got to get high-speed internet access to all of rural North Carolina. That has to be an absolute priority. We are working with the General Assembly. I have put my Department of Information Technology at the forefront of this effort, pushing the providers, working on public-private partnerships, leveraging new technology. We do have every one of our schools connected in North Carolina, but the problem is that teachers and students often leave those schools and go back to places that are not connected. I've talked to farmers that once they have gotten high-speed internet access, it has connected them to markets all over the world, and it has helped improve their lot and improve the agricultural economy in North Carolina. So for the purposes of education, agriculture, healthcare, and economic development, we have to get broadband access everywhere in all 100 counties, and not just poor connections too. It has to be high quality, high speed internet access. I know that tomorrow you will hear from our Department of Information Technology on what the future brings, and we will talk a little bit about the $10 million that we've already put into 19 rural communities, and there is more help to come. I am co-chair this year of the Appalachian Regional Commission on the federal level, and we're also including broadband in that effort. We have what we call our GREAT grants, the Growing Rural Economies with Access to Technology broadband grant program that I signed into law and worked with the General Assembly to pass, and that's going to put $15 million in every year that will be matched to try and make sure that we get broadband access. Secondly, I know that there are new crops out there and new ways to farm, and I commend you and your leadership for working on the North Carolina Farm Act that is bringing everybody to the table, and hopefully we can determine how we can transition to different kinds of money crops that can help supplement what's already going on in North Carolina. I also want to let you know that I am fighting to expand health care in rural communities. One of the very best ways that we can do that is at our fingertips. About 40% of our rural hospitals right now are in the red. We are paying federal tax money to Washington right now that's going to provide insurance, health insurance for working people in 37 other states. One of the things that we have seen in those 37 other states is more people being insured. In North Carolina, we can insure 500,000 to 600,000 more working North Carolinians. I talked to an early childhood educator the other day, and we're learning more and more about how important the science is in brain development to make sure that children from 0 to 3 have quality early childhood education. She had a tear running down her cheek, and it was because she was about to have to declare bankruptcy because she had gotten sick and amassed medical bills because she had no health insurance. You see, we require these child care agencies to be 4- and 5-star quality. And we know that parents have to have affordable rates in order to be able to take their children there. So what's happening is that many of these child care agencies are not providing health insurance for their employees. 1 in 5 of our early childhood educators do not have health insurance. And they fall in the category of many working North Carolinians who are working for small businesses, who are working 2 or 3 part-time jobs, who don't have health insurance. I believe that people who have good health insurance that they like should be able to keep it. But we have a way to insure 500,000 to 600,000 more North Carolinians in North Carolina. Most all of them are working. If you go to healthcarecan'twait.org, you can punch in your county and you can see how many more people in your county will get health insurance. This is why so many county commissioners and chambers of commerce are saying that this is an important thing to do. It'll bring 30,000 to 40,000 jobs. And when you go to Healthcare Can't Wait, it will tell you how many jobs are coming to your county and how many more people will be insured and what the economic investment will be. We've also seen that when we do this, we drive down private health insurance premiums 7 to 11%. That's because you are reducing the uncompensated care out there that we all pay for. You also see more mental health treatment and more substance use disorder treatment. And what I'm doing and what I'm saying is talking about expanding Medicaid in North Carolina. Mike Pence, when he was governor of Indiana, expanded Medicaid. I was talking to Governor John Kasich, the former Republican governor in Ohio, and after I won the debate with him about which state was first in flight, they had the bicycle shop, we flew the plane, case closed. He talked to me about 54% drop in the city of Dayton in opioid overdose deaths because of this. We can have a debate all we want about how much the government should be involved in health insurance. This is something that's already there that other states have taken advantage of, that North Carolina needs to take advantage of to help our economy, to help people's health care. I'm a person of deep faith. I believe that my Bible tells me that we should try to help people who are sick and who are downtrodden. And here we've got working people who can't afford health insurance, and we can help provide it for them. We're going to continue to work to do that. I also recognize that many of our rural counties have very thin staffs. We have some great people who are working in county government, in governments of small towns, but they don't have a lot of experience and they're spread pretty thin. That's why I developed Hometown Strong. 80 of our counties are rural in North Carolina, and I grew up in a rural county. One thing we are doing is bringing my cabinet to these rural counties with Hometown Strong. I've talked to people who have been involved in these meetings, and many of you may have been involved in them, where we're bringing the leadership of rural counties together to meet with people in all of the 10 cabinet agencies. Oftentimes, I will come. I will send people who are heads of my cabinet to these meetings, and we talk about things that they may not even know about state or federal grants that can help their rural areas. They get in touch with people in state agencies that can help with transportation issues, and already we're having a very positive effect in our rural areas because of Hometown Strong. And one interesting thing that has occurred, I believe the state employees get better because they have a chance to meet real people on the ground in these rural areas and see all of the challenges that they are facing. And they come away saying, this is just not the person, some person on another end of an email chain. It is somebody who deeply cares about his or her community and somebody that we really need to help. So that's been positive, and we're going to continue to work on Hometown Strong and make sure that our rural areas get attention. My Commerce Department also has been targeting rural areas for economic development, and we've seen a number of businesses, particularly in the area of advanced manufacturing, that have come to rural North Carolina. We're going to continue to work with our community colleges to make sure that people have the training. We've got to invest in education from cradle to career in order to be able to train the kind of workforce that we need in North Carolina. We also know that we've still got a lot to do with storm recovery, but we are working every single day to make sure that we do. We put more than $320 million into agriculture-related recovery. I know that I worked with the Agricultural Commissioner, with the Farm Bureau, with the legislature to make sure that farmers got checks for hurricane recovery, and we got them pretty quickly to you at a time of great need. Wasn't enough, but certainly helped through a very difficult time. And we are committed to rebuilding North Carolina in a smarter and stronger way. We have had 2 so-called 500-year floods within the last 23 months. That's not a 500-year flood anymore. And we've got to understand that we've got to have mitigation, and we've got to build back smarter and stronger than ever before. I'm so grateful to be with you because I know that here we have a room full of strong leaders in North Carolina, leaders in your community who are part of civic clubs, who are part of your churches, who coach Little League teams. Our farmers are integral parts of North Carolina, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. But one of you here, one of these great leaders in North Carolina, is going to be retiring here at the end of the year. We have already honored him at the North Carolina Executive Mansion a few weeks ago, and this is a big deal, and I'm very happy about it. But we decided that rural North Carolina was so important that we should create the North Carolina Rural Award that we're going to present annually to the person in rural North Carolina who does so much for the rural parts of our state. And this year, the first recipient of the North Carolina Rural Award was none other than Mr. Larry Wooten, who will be leaving this organization, but not leaving our hearts. And in fact, he has been such an integral part of this state, rural North Carolina, and the farming community that we have named this award the Larry Wooten North Carolina Rural Award that will be presented every year. And Larry, I think you deserve a big, big hand for that. One thing I'm sure about is that just because he's going to be retiring from this position, he's not going to stop his effort to help North Carolina. He won't be able to. He is too passionate. I've had so many passionate, strong conversations with him about farming, about agriculture. He believes in all of you with every bone in his body, and he's going to continue to work. But one thing that you get to do as governor is to present an award to, for an honorary society. And I'm going to have Eric come bring this up to me. So Larry Wooten has been a friend for at least 30 years. I remember going down to the Farm Bureau and meeting with people when I was very young. I got my first health insurance card from the Farm Bureau. This man has advocated for agriculture at the local, state, and federal level. Whenever I've put him on a number of business committee meetings, and we've got a lot of industry that is represented. We've got some great industries, aerospace and bioscience and technology. But Larry Wooten will always bring up the importance of agriculture so every other business person could hear it in the room. And he has been an amazing North Carolinian, a person who is strong of character, who is honest, who loves this state. And so the highest honorary society that we have in North Carolina is the Order of the Longleaf Pine. And I'm going to present that to Larry today and let him know that this will entitle him anywhere in the free world to give this toast. Here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun doth shine, where the wheat grows strong and the strong grow great. Here's to down home, the old North State. Larry Wooten is the newest member of the Order of the Longleaf Pine. Larry, congratulations. Thank you for allowing me to be with you today. I appreciate it.